It's a pleasure being here for the first time. There are very interesting talks. I'm very happy to be here. Today, my talk will focus on serious game to promote cultural heritage, and I will propose you a case study that we already completed in the last few days. So, okay. I will give you a very short introduction about this topic, and then we will focus on this CREAMARE, the game. I will not go too much in, let's say, too deep in details, in technical details, but I will give you some interesting topics we had to manage during the implementation of this game, like the underwater cultural heritage digitization, the usage of digitized models in the engine, and other stuff related to level design, mechanics, and also the storytelling. So, just a few words about me. I'm Marco Cozza. I have a master's degree in computer science from the University of Calabria. I'm the Chief Technology Officer of 3D Research. I'm working there since 2014, and I'm also assistant lecturer in some of the courses at the University of Calabria. My company is, as you can see in this picture, is quite not in this market, in this industry, because we are a spin-off company of the University of Calabria. We belong to the mechanical engineer department. So we do a lot of stuff. We have a multidisciplinary approach to what we do. And very quickly, as you can see in this long list, we do a lot of stuff related to new technologies, and in particular CGI, virtual and augmented reality, applied to cultural heritage mainly. We also do 3D recording and modeling, reverse engineering, but we also develop underwater technologies, I mean physical technologies like the one you can see in this picture, to be used in scientific and recreational diving. But since we work also with museum, we want to, let's say, bring to the final users or the visitors, the final users, let's say, new ways to explore cultural heritage. You know that it's always not boring, let's say, but difficult to access some of the contents that, for example, museums provide to the user. So we try to engage user and especially young people by using also digital storytelling, these kind of extended reality technologies, and serious game. And we are particularly active in European funded project. This long list is represent all the projects in which we were involved in over years. The two orange projects are the ones we, for the first time, are coordinating. And I will talk you about the CREAMARE one, which is the one of the two funded by the Creative Europe program. On the right side, you can see that we cooperate with several research institutions, university, but also environmental protection institution, and I will show why and how we cooperate with them. Okay, you already know it very well about serious game. I will just bring you this common definition, because the games with a purpose are games that are designed with a primary scope that is not purely to entertain final user, but to pass some messages related mainly to educational purposes, simulation, or to influence human or user behavior. I show you some of our previous experiences. This video is related to the virtual diving application. Basically, you wear a head-mounted display, and you can simulate a diving session and take a look and explore underwater cultural heritage. Underwater cultural heritage is something that is, especially in the Mediterranean Sea, is very, let's say, spread. There are a lot of shipwrecks in Mediterranean Sea, but they are not easy accessible. Imagine that this ship is 40 meters deep under the water, so a few divers can go there. So what we do is try to to bring to the final user a way to explore this kind of underwater cultural heritage assets. Then we also produce something, as I said, for museum and for children, like to reconstruct extinct animals and so on. Some very small games that let's say try to give some lessons, some messages to the final users. And in a previous project, we developed this Dive in the Past, which is, let's say, the first mobile game that is related to the underwater cultural heritage. Basically, we integrated it in it 4 real underwater cultural heritage sites of the Mediterranean Sea, and it has been used as a tool to promote this kind of locations related to these sites. Here you can explore by using your smartphones these 4 sites, and also leave some histories related to the past of these ships or structures by means of a, let's say, magic diary that animates itself and tells you some stories with some mini games to complete. And let's focus now just very quickly to the CREAMARE project. I have to introduce you, it may be boring, but I have to introduce you this project because I want you to understand that the serious game was not, let's say, the main core of the project. So this EU-funded project, as I said, is funded by the Creative Europe program under the call that is CREACult 2021 COP, was not focused, this call was not focused to develop video games. Obviously, there are programs like the Creative Europe Media programs that gives you funding to develop prototypes or video games. In this case, not. The main idea here is to create cooperation among countries, European countries, and among different, let's say, professionals. So we brought this project, we got the funding. We started in 2022, and we involved 7 partners from 5 different countries: Italy, Greece, Croatia, Hungary, and Spain. So focusing quickly on the main aim of this project. The main aim was to create a transnational and cross-sectoral cooperation framework in which cultural institutions and scientific and research bodies, and also creative professional and creative, let's say, technology experts can cooperate. It's a sort of an environment in which they can cooperate to co-produce a cultural and creative application or digital product. Why this? Because, as I said before, promoting, disseminating cultural heritage is very difficult. It's a very demanding task. It requires resources, budget, and time, obviously. And in most of the cases, these kind of cultural scientific institutions don't have the budget to do this. So the idea was to create this kind of an environment in which they could cooperate and co-create something together. And you can tell me, and what about the serious game? I will explain now. So basically, at the core of this project, we have this cooperation framework with a digital collaboration platform to bring together these kind of actors. We created 2 open calls to involve these kind of actors. We implemented this CREAMARE cooperation framework with, sorry for Italian here, but with a residency program, online training course, and on-site training course. And the final aim of the implementation, the demonstration of this framework was the development of the serious game. So going further, how we engaged cultural institutions. We decided to create an open call to involve them, and the cultural institution like, let's say, research centers or something like this, also universities, could benefit, could have 2 benefits. The first one was to have one of their sites, the underwater cultural heritage sites, to be included, integrated into the serious game. The second one is to that they could participate in a training program addressed to the digitization and promotion of underwater cultural heritage. We obtained 12 institutions who applied to this call, and it's a good number. They were from Europe and beyond, from Tunisia, Israel, Egypt, and Turkey. They proposed 22 underwater cultural heritage sites in total, and we selected 7 of them. So in the serious game, we integrated not 7, but 9 underwater cultural heritage sites, as I will show you later. And the training was, as I said, focused on digitization because, as I will show you later in the next slides, one of the most important things for underwater cultural heritage is to, let's say, preserve it and also to promote it. But to promote it, we have to have, let's say, the digital twin, the 3D digital twin, to be used in several ways. So we train them to create this kind of digitization by let them going underwater and doing the photogrammetry acquisition, as I will show you now. These are some pictures of the training courses. As you can see, the professionals were underwater, taking a lot of pictures and obtaining the 3D models of the underwater cultural heritage site. But we also wanted to involve creative professionals, and we did a needs analysis at the beginning of the project. We found that even in the project, we as, let's say, technology experts, we were developers, not really game developers or game designers, but somehow we tried to do it. We had also a creation company which was similar to us, and we needed to involve additional 3D artists, at least one sound designer and level designers, because we found this gap in our 2 companies. So the team at the end of the selection process ended up with 2 + 1 3D artists more selected under this open call, 1 sound designer and 3 level designers. The benefits for them were we paid them, we gave them a fee of 5,000 euros each, and they participated in this online cooperation and also on-site cooperation with a residency in Cosenza near our premises. This is the team who joined the residency in Cosenza. And some pictures there. What we did, we started from the concept, the game concept we inside the partnership already had, and we discussed it all together, all the aspects, mechanics, the plot. We finalized the plot, the narrative, and so on during these 7 full days. And after that, we cooperated for 3 months altogether to produce all the assets needed for the production of the serious game. Let's focus on the serious game. I want to go more in detail now. So CREAMARE, the game, is the name of the serious game we produced. It is already on Epic and Steam stores. And basically, you as a player will dive into 9 real underwater archaeological sites, digitized, so they digital replica of these sites, to fight, let's say, a monster coming from the future that hunts all these sites. As you can see in this picture, you see this worm, giant worm. We will see it later on, but it is something that feeds from entropy generated by these underwater cultural heritage sites, and also the marine litter and the environmental threats that affects our oceans. The main name of the game is to, first of all, let's say, okay, now the font is not good, so sorry for this, but the idea is that the player will dive into these sites. During this exploration, he will learn something about the sites themselves, their stories, the way they, let's say, they wreck, they sunk, and so on. But also, we want to pass a message, and we wanted to raise awareness about the environmental threats that affect the ocean and our sea today, like climate change, pollution, marine litter, ghost nets, illegal fishing, and so on. So basically, you have to fight these threats to solve all these problems and issues, and to progress with the story. So basically, why this is a serious game is for two main, let's say, it is, first of all, because we've included the underwater cultural heritage part, and then that we want to raise awareness about the environmental threats. These are some screenshots. As you can see here, you will start in a museum. This museum is inspired to the Pantheon here in Rome, as you can see. And basically here there is a temporary exhibition hosting all the artifacts coming from all the 9 underwater cultural heritage sites. So these, let's say, concentration of historical energy, let's say, creates this entropy and attracts the monster coming from the future. This monster feeds from environmental issues and threats, and you have to fight it. Not to go deeper in the production life cycle, I will just tell you that a lesson learned about this project is that the creative professional, the 7 we involved in the project, I think we involved them a bit early in the production, in the pre-production, because at the end of the day, they, let's say, closed their collaboration with us, but we needed to do a lot of work after that, so we needed to rebuild a lot of stuff. So in another future project, I think we will have to think about a very large time window for the involvement of external resources, because at the end of the day, we needed to redo a lot of things by ourselves. As you can see, last year we developed the first vertical slice. We did a lot of internal tests, and we released the internal alpha versions. Then we released the beta versions tested with the users in the 5 countries and through focus groups. Then we published the early access, and now we are in the gold version in both stores. About the game flow, we start at the museum, as I said. You will explore this museum, you will learn about the exhibition, then something happens, the monster appears, and you have to escape. You meet your companion, then the drone you already said before, and you will be in the research vessel. The research vessel is the central hub, in which you have to select the new site, identify and locate the new site to be explored, and you will have some briefing related to the story of the site and the story, the narrative of the game. Then you will start the underwater the underwater exploration task, in which you will explore. You will dive into these sites. You will perform some tasks, and you will do these 9 times in 9 different sites with 9 different kinds of tasks. And at the end, you will have the prologue, the epilogue at the museum itself. Okay, let's skip tools. You already know every tools. Very quickly, the cultural heritage. I think this is the, let's say, unique selling points of our game. It's not a AAA game. It's not a video game itself, so it's quite difficult to be in this market. But I think that including 9 real underwater sites of the Mediterranean Sea, it's something that is somehow appealing. I don't know how much, but it may be for interest for someone. So as you can see, we tried to cover all the Mediterranean Sea and also part of the Black Sea. So these are all the real underwater sites that you will explore in the video game. And quickly, Lombardo shipwreck in Italy, it was used by Giuseppe Garibaldi during the expedition in Sicily. This was used in Spain in the War of Gibraltar, and this one was a steamship ship that sank in the early 20s of the last century. This is a modern shipwreck, an 80-meter ship in Greece that sank in the 80s. This is another site in Italy, in Apulia, which is very well preserved. You know that the wood is not preserved under the water, but this one, yes. These are the cargo here was a lot, thousands of amphoras. And then we have this one in the Black Sea. And this one is very important because it was an ancient Roman port harbor made by Herod, the King Herod in Israel. And finally, we have Alexandria Lighthouse, which is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. So it's very important from the historical point of view, and we are very happy to include it. They proposed it as the Egyptian University, and we were delighted to include it. One of the challenges here is to use digitized content. So by using photogrammetry or other techniques, you probably know that to replicate, to have the 3D digital replica of some real assets, you can do this photogrammetry. Photogrammetry is a technique in which you take, let's say, hundreds or thousands of pictures all around the object. And by processing with some softwares, you will obtain a realistic 3D model of the object itself. But when you use this kind of stuff in real-time environment, VR or AR or also serious game, it is very difficult because they are not optimized. So you need to optimize them without losing too much detail that you have with the 3D with the photogrammetry. So before integrating in the engine, we needed to post-process a lot and optimize a lot this kind of stuff. For other cases, we used the standard 3D model techniques. This is how we digitize underwater cultural heritage sites. So going underwater, taking hundreds, thousands of pictures, and then you will obtain this kind of 3D object. As you can see, it's very detailed, it's very, let's say, realistic, but it is not optimized. As you can see here, even the amphora are looking good, but not so good for a video game, let's say. So what we do, we remove all the stuff that is outside the most interesting area of the site. In this case, we have the ship. We removed all the surface, the sea bottom around the ship, because we are not interested in it, because we are replicating it by using the terrain tool of the Unity engine. So then we had to do the remeshing. So by these 4 steps, mesh parameters, orientation fields, and position field, and then we exported the mesh. As you can see now, the mesh is a bit, let's say, less detailed, but we work on the texture to obtain a pretty similar result. There will be holes in the 3D model. We have to solve them. There will be other error corrections, as you can see here. Then we need to unwrap the UV map to optimize it. And then we need to bake the texture coming from the high detailed. And with high detailed, I refer to millions of polygons. So they are very, very heavy, but they are very, let's say, as I said, realistic. Then we have to bake the texture coming from the very high quality model to the one that is optimized. We needed to do the color correction and other retouching to the texture. And we finalize, we have the final model. I will give you a quick example on this Torre Santa Sabina. These are pictures of the sites. And These are the two models, one optimized, one the original one. We from almost 500,000 polygons, we got to less than 200,000. In other cases, we got from like 10 million polygons to 200,000 without losing too much detail. And even for the textures, as you can see here, we have from very high resolution that is unmanageable on the engines to a 4K resolution that is doable in our environment. I will skip this just to tell you that here we could not go in Israel, as you may imagine, because of the conflict. We planned to go there and make the photogrammetry, but we couldn't go for the conflict. We needed to model all the stuff from scratch by using Google Earth images and make all the models starting also from scientific papers and so on. These are some pictures. Let me go further. Okay, then we integrated it in, let's say, we reproduced also the surface environment. And this is the ship, the Torre Santa Sabina shipwreck. And we reconstructed all the, let's say, the surface environment near the ship, because our idea is not to make just the site that is 15 meters long, but to have a very large area to be explored with some tasks. So basically what we did was to create a 1.5 square kilometer area to be explored in this case. And for sure, we needed to remodel almost everything. And we needed to put also the underwater vegetation to make it very realistic. About the creature, we started from the fireworm. It's something that is very invasive in the Mediterranean Sea. We used it and the mouth of the octopus, let's say, to create the elements of your main enemy. We made the 9 variation for one for each underwater site. And let's talk about game mechanics. Okay, the first mechanic is related to freeing animals and rescuing animals from ghost nets and illegal fishing and so on. We will use for this kind of environmental tasks, we use it also, let's say, metaphor to, let's say, to present the issue and the way how you can solve this issue. So in this case, we have a turtle, you have to save it from a ghost net. Oil spill is another issue that is threatening all the seas. So basically you have the oil spill, you have to find the valve. I will go, you have to follow the pipeline until you find the valve to be closed, and then you will solve this task. Let me go. When you find the valve here, so this is another metaphor. It's not the exact way you could remove this kind of threat, but it's something that is more suitable, we think, for a video game. Another task is catching alien species, because you know that one of the biggest problem in our seas is that there are alien species like the lion, fish, or other that are, let's say, destroying the habitats of our local fishes. So here we have the mutant or mutated fishes that you have to catch with these bubbles and remove it. We could not kill them. Even in reality, you can kill them. But now we will use this, our companion that does all the stuff. Another issue is related to the heat sources. You know that the temperature of our seas are increasing every year. So we put this variation of the creature, and you have to, let's say, cool down this stuff to represent a way to try to solve this issue, like this. During the exploration, you have to collect some samples of the mutant creature, and as soon as you collect it, you will be able to do the final, let's say, fight. It's not a fight, but it's a task you have to perform to kill the creature and remove it from the site. This is the last mini game you have to explore. When you find the head of the creature, you will be able to make this mini game about DNA matching stuff. And as soon as you solve it, you will just remove the monster from the site. And finally, to pass another important message, you have to find the where to replace the artifacts, because one of the problem of the underwater cultural heritage is related to looting. So that amphoras or other stuff that will be stolen, could be stolen by everyone. Or the other message we want to pass is that we want to promote, to, let's say, to promote the in situ conservation of these kind of cultural assets without removing them. Then you have also some basic stuff about the info mode, in which you can see information about flora, fauna, and the archaeological content, and the photographic mode, in which you can take pictures and save it on your library. About storytelling and narrative, I will show you a video we did with the AI. The idea is that there is a... Okay, we'll just give an explanation. This is what she's a scientist coming from the future. So she will send you some video logs telling you stories about the pollution, environmental changes, because in the future everything has been destroyed by means of our actual behavior. So we need to change behavior today and solve this issue. And these are have been made using AI tools. And finally, we'll show you a very quick video. Okay. I'm running out of time, so I will just tell you that okay, let's skip this. As I said, we are already in the 2 stores, and these are some stats of we are on the stores since few months, but the gold version has been released on the last day of May, so it's from very few days we are in our final version. Obviously, we need to polish it a lot. We need to improve it, but the team was too small, and we developed it in, let's say, less than a year, and with 3 developers and 2 3D modelers. not counting the ones we involved in the first leg of the project. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'm here. Any question?
Thank you. Let's try this again. Oh, excellent. We're doing it. Really interesting talk. Thank you. I was curious with regards, I used to work in academic research, and so one of the challenges you have is taking your research outputs and turning it into a creative product. So the fact that you got this shipped on both Epic and Steam, just my heart goes out to you. That's amazing. Is that the reason that it's free? Did you ever think about the economics of potentially putting it out even for a couple of euros and then using that as a mechanism for research funding, or even to facilitate the continued development or like iteration of the project itself?
Okay, thank you for the question. The first fact is that we already received the funding to develop it. So it was, let's say, co-funded by us, but we received the funding from the Creative Europe program. So we didn't, we put it for free for sure. A problem could be that we need to, let's say, deal with all the institutions who provide the content and the permission to use it. Because I know that in some cases it's easier to, let's say, to monetize this kind of stuff. In other cases, it's impossible, let's say, because if they give you the permission, they give you, but they cannot monetize from that. Like we had a talk with the Superintendency of Cultural Heritage of Malta. Is not involved in this project, but we are working on other projects. And they told me that they cannot even monetize from the cultural heritage, and they cannot allow anyone to monetize of that. So it's a bit tricky. What we are doing now is, first of all, we would like to make a second chapter. Improving this for sure, continuous improvements are already planned. We want to make a second chapter, and we are collecting interest all over the world for the promotional part of the underwater cultural heritage. But we are also thinking to try to make it more commercial without including all the cultural, real cultural stuff, but try to make some different things without including what we could not monetize. This is something we are trying to see. Thank you.
If I remember well, you used the photo to generate the 3D modeling.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you got issues from the light distortion that you have if you do a photo under the water.
Yeah, what we do to avoid this, we have over years we developed a structured workflow for underwater acquisition, and basically we have for deeper, let's say for deep underwater sites like 30, 40 meters, there are no problems because you use your flashlights, and the only thing is that you have to correct images because there is the complete absorption of the red channel of pictures. So you have to balance it. We use some color references while we are doing the pictures. For shallow waters, there are issues, but we have a lot of techniques to try to avoid that, both in the acquisition part and then on the post-processing. We do a lot of work on this. Thank you.